the bunk area of the truck, there's a couple of things to note here. One is the APU, which we will get to. This is the control box for the APU. Very important that you don't mess with this. This is the kind of thermostat probe, if you will. If you were to move it left or right, forward or back, it will break off. It is not a toggle. The button just to the right of the APU control box is the refrigerator. If you were to flip it up, you'll see that it illuminates green. Do not leave this on. If you're at the office, it should be turned off. It is safe to leave it turned on while on the road, but once you return to the office and leave your truck, it should be turned off. Again, these are temperature controls for your air conditioner, though you should be using your APU, but should you have to use it in the bunk, this would be where the controls are. This button here is your overhead light switch that would turn it on, turn it off. The button just below that is the light for under the bunk. Again, you can flip it up. You see that it illuminates green to let you know it's on. And the button just to the left of it would be your power door locks. It does not have an unlock, but it does have a power door lock. From here you have a alarm clock. This is not a radio control, but it is an alarm clock. APU operation is very simple. There are two systems that F&W has. Both are Thermo King. There is this type, which is the tri-pack, and then there is another type that looks more like this, which is the tri-pack Evolution. With the Evolution, there is no LCD readout. It's simply a power button that also controls whether it's AC, vent, or heat. And then there is a thermostat button. To turn the unit on the Evolution, you would simply press and hold the power button that is located on your control for AC versus heat. And then you can control your temperature by moving the thermostat gauge. For the tri-pack, old style tri-pack, which this truck has, the control box would look like this. To turn it on, if it were off, if the screen were black, you would press the on off button. So that the main power light was turned on. This is also how you would get the hours for service. Here you would see, let's see, actually you would do it by turning the APU power off. So if that is off, you then cycle it, turn it back on, HRS. This has 01333. Again, because many people get this wrong, to get the hours for service to ride up when riding up your truck and trailer, you would turn the APU power off. And then again, once we turn it back on, you'll see that the LCD screen will say HRS. There'll be a symbol here, and then from there you write down every number you see. So in this case, HRS symbol 01333. So in this case, this APU has 1,333 hours. With this style of APU, the service is done every 1,000 hours. It is very important that you give those hours to the shop so that they can keep up with it in their system and make sure maintenance is done as scheduled. The next step, so with the main power button on and the APU power button turned on, to turn the air conditioner on or the heat on, there's a button here that says mode. Press it until you get to the desired mode. So the first one would be fan, the next would be heat, and the next would be AC. So in this case, we've got the AC on, we've got it set to 65 degrees, and the fan just started blowing at my feet. It's very important to make sure that the temperature, if you desire AC, that the temperature is actually set below the ambient temperature inside the truck. So in this case, we're at 65 degrees. We can change our fan speed here, low, medium, and high, and use the up and down buttons to control the temperature of the truck. So 65, if we went up, it would be 68. If we pressed it down, it would be at 64. Within about 60 seconds, in fact, the truck's already done it now, but after about 60 seconds of choosing the AC mode, and after the fan starts blowing, you will hear the unit on the outside of the truck crank, and at that point you're good to go. Should you have a problem, you will have a fault code show up here. It will either say ALT for alternator or ENG for engine. You will also get a system fault here. There'll be a little red light. There's several things that could cause that. It's very important to make sure, always attempt to reset the system. You do that by lifting the bump, finding the black box associated with the APU, and there's a reset button. There's a label that clearly shows where the reset button is. If you have questions, you can ask someone in the shop to make sure you know where that button is. Always attempt to reset it one time and restart the APU before cranking the engine and idling the truck. Make sure to write the truck up the minute you get back, and we'll be sure to get the APU fixed prior to your next departure. Again, if you have questions on operation, usage of the APU, please see Steve in the shop. I think that's it. The last part of the APU operation is here, just simply knowing to check the oil. To do so, you press this button here, pop this lid up. There's a dipstick here to check the oil. If you had to add it, you could add it here. There is an on and off button here. Should you find that your APU will not crank, if you know that they had just done an oil change, it is possible this button could have been left off and your truck will be set in a standby mode. Other than that, just making sure to keep the oil checked and at operating levels.